This is Ronan, Rocky Mountain Pro Superstar and professional wrestling's only true vampire, and you are listening to RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.
RMP Radio is back on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me once again in place of KD, I've got the evil genius of professional wrestling, Mr. Titus Machiavelli. Titus, how you doing?
Well, I feel sort of off-putting. I'm filling in for KD. I think KD fills in for me, but we'll go there. Artie, how are you, my friend? How's Mr. Fourth Row?
I'm doing great. It's fun getting involved, getting excited for everything that we've got going for RMP. And, this is one of your favorite times of year, I believe. It's milestone season.
It is. And it's something about milestone. And I typically take time at every milestone to talk with a talent prior to the event and letting them know that, you're dealing with, the biggest thing that we do every single year. It feels different. It smells different. It tastes different. It's milestone. So I am absolutely jacked and excited for milestone 11.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm excited too. My first one being on staff per se for RMP, so it's gonna be a different experience for me too. So,
it's definitely it comes out of nowhere too. I mean, you're like, oh man, milestone is 3 months away, and the next thing you know, oh my gosh, milestone's like 2 weeks away. It catches up quick.
Oh yeah, definitely, because this gets busy. Always the month that milestone always lands in is always one of the busiest times of the year for Rocky Mountain Pro, because we've got our regular shows as well as everything else we're trying to fit in as well.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at RMP, which is the norm. We've always got our thing, going on, whether it be Twitch, whether it be live events, TV tapings, and all the things that we do. It's always busy, but this just adds a little extra to it.
Yeah. Oh, well, before we get out of here, let's kind of catch up a little bit with you. Last time you and I officially talked on the podcast, you have been doing the film study, character development, and things like that with the RMP trainees and wrestlers and everything. And how's that all been going?
Oh, it's going really well. I've taken on, and it's funny. I may have said this to you previously, or I've said it to you in private. Yeah. I came back to RMP for milestone 10. That was my,
right.
Matt reached out to me and said, hey, it's the 10th anniversary. It only makes sense that you're part of this. Would you be interested? And of course I jumped in. Yeah. I was retired. I was out of the business, missing it. Let me clarify. I missed it. I didn't know how much I missed it. Yeah. Well, that was one night. Now I'm the character development coach. I'm the director of the Twitch channel, the color commentator. So I got to wear a couple of hats.
Yeah, and has it been just keeping you busy doing all that, and along with your other things you've been doing for yourself, like on your Twitch feed and things of that nature?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how y'all fit it all in.
Well, I'm making this work I'm trying to make this work as a career. I'd like to be able to say, but that you and I are talking 1 year from now, going into milestone 12, yeah, that I work full time in pro wrestling and in content creation. That's my long-term strategy. I'd love it to be possible in a year, but absolutely, it keeps me very busy. Going to the school, doing character development, doing film study. Those things happen every Wednesday. On top of everything that I'm doing on my Twitch channel and of course my YouTube, and now I'm also on TikTok as well doing those. So yeah, it's becoming a full-time thing, and that's what I want. So that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the old cliche about you find something you love for your job, you'll never work another day in your life.
Correct. Absolutely true.
I probably butchered it a little bit, but that's the gist of it. So catching up, if the listeners should be following along, like on the Twitch feed on our live events that we've had, like most recently, the Romeros and the return to Bierstadt. First of all, it's been a long time. It's been 9 months since we've been to Bierstadt.
It was Shocktober of last year.
Yeah. And a new setup. What did you think of the new patio setup out there and having the ring outside in the front parking lot? How'd that come off to you? And because you were of course on commentary for the Twitch during the show. How was it for you? What did you experience when it came to all that?
Having always done shows inside, being out in the patio on the outside, the parking area, it provided, I think. Well, first off, what a beautiful night we had too.
Fantastic.
Everything you would say why you live in Colorado for. The temperature was great. The wind was just right. Everything was just great. It was a great outdoor event. That being said, you don't have as much control of things from a production standpoint. So. Aesthetically, loved it. I loved it. If you go back and you look sometimes in some of the camera shots, you'll see people in the apartment building across the street in their patios while standing out watching the show. People watching from their windows. So aesthetically, it was fantastic. From a production standpoint, we learned a lot. And that's what from a production I wanted to use that event as a barometer of where we are for Milestone Weekend. Obviously, it's a 2-day thing. So how does these things work? Let's beta test. Let's see how. So from a production standpoint, it was a bit difficult from that aspect. But from an aesthetics, man, it was fantastic. It provided the security that you'd want as we're getting close to the end of all of what 2020 brought us. So there was some sense of normalcy. I'm excited for Milestone. I think we've learned how to run that event in that situation better for having done it, and Milestone and Colorado Cup should come off much better. But I enjoyed it. Long answer to a short question, but I enjoyed it. It just brought a new set of production challenges.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine. For me, being where I was situated, I liked it. I would also add to what you said, the looky-loos that would stop on as they're walking by on the sidewalk, either biking or just walking across. They stopped, gave it a good look, and just the atmosphere with the picnic tables for the seating outside. It just kind of gave it that nice party atmosphere.
It truly did. I think the people on the street were the most interesting. That provides you both the positives of people who have no idea, who come by and go, wow, this is kind of cool. But it also has the negative sides of your typical, jackhole who walk down the street, who want to say things as well. Being that close where we were, doing commentary, you hear a lot of people. There was an idiot who was, yelling, rip off his mask to Lipto, which, is just stupidity in itself. So you'd get some of those negative things, but you're absolutely right. It felt like a party. There were people who were just walking by, who hung out for 10, 15 minutes, watching, cheering, excited, and engaging. And those aren't wrestling fans per se. They're not the people that you normally get to come to your event, but they happened to be walking by and go, wow, this is kind of cool. Hopefully those can convert into regular viewers.
Right. Yeah. And I missed, I should have looked the weekend that we got coming up for Milestone Weekend, because Bierstadt is just a few blocks away from Coopersfield. and sometimes we get that foot traffic before and after. Have you looked? I didn't even check to see, is Milestone Weekend the same weekend the Rockies might be in town? Have you?
You know,
looked?
I didn't even think of that, and as you were mentioning it, I grabbed my phone to go to my MLB app and find out because I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see because I know there's been quite a few times, especially after the Bierstadt put inside, they put those rolling garage doors to open up, get that fresh air in. And I remember because it literally sits back to the parking lots at Coors Field. So I know when we've had events there late in the night, you always see the Rockies get out. People are heading to their cars, but then they kind of, as they're walking to their cars, once again, we got that little looky-loos going, what's going on in that building there? It looks like professional wrestling. And so I think sometimes we do get that foot traffic, the foot traffic like at your grocery store, the little things hanging on the aisles to get that quick little buy. And sometimes I think we do get people that get introduced just by being where we are, when a great area that Bierstadt is out, in that area with, other events like that going on, say at Coors Field, or, that whole area, has got a lot of activity and fun stuff, a lot of other bars in that area, to be honest, as well. So,
well, unfortunately, as I look, the Rockies will be in Milwaukee. Oh. I'm so sorry, Rockies. You're going to be in, Milwaukee. But there, as you were just saying, there are a lot of other things that go on a Friday and Saturday night downtown. Yeah. So the fact that you're going to get people watching the show, the guy that I can be sometimes, I was like, well, how do we put this giant curtain up on the sidewalk so nobody can just walk by and watch Milestone for free? Yeah. Because there are people who are going to be paying to sit in the area. But, you let that go. But there's so many things that go on downtown. There is going to be people walking by and, catch a look and get a chance to see this amazing roster of talent that we have put together here at Rocky Mountain Pro, which I think is probably the best talent we have, the best locker room we've had probably since like 2015, 2016, in my opinion.
Oh, awesome. That's high praise for you since you've been around for quite a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I came in RMP close. Now this fall will be 8 years.
Yeah.
And I think that this roster right now is the best roster we've had. May not be the most talented yet. That 2015, 2016, you had Stephen Ashburn, and towards the end of 16 and 17, you brought in Tyler Stinson. You had Hoodlum and Anaya and Mercury and Mars, and you had such talent that were so raw early on. You talk about Mars, Ashburn, and Anaya, very young talent. First students of the school. Now you fast forward to 2021, and I see some similarities in Brumach, Damon Ace, and Balaam Lynx. Yeah. Some young guys who are just starting to get their feet wet, and I think they're more talented than the three that I mentioned before. Time will tell, but I think we do have just an awesome roster, and people see that, and when they walk down the street at Milestone and Colorado Cup, they're going to, and the Colorado Cup is going to be, such a unique event anyways. They're going to see something special, and they may stop. They may buy a ticket for the next day at Milestone. Who knows?
Right, exactly. All right, well, so let's get right into it. So let's first of all wrap up with what happened recently, and something specifically I want to kind of ask you about. So, like we mentioned, we just recently had an event there at Bierstadt Lager House. In the show, if Twitch listeners, people on Twitch saw, or people in attendance saw, there was a little thing going on with you and Matt Mercury. Matt Yaden was asking for a little bit of your help. There's the grunt style that's kind of infiltrated Rocky Mountain Pro, and doing their thing. Got some issues going on with Mercury. Matt reached out to you for some help. You want to let the listeners here at RMP Radio kind of know your thought process of why the decision that you came to?
Well, it was, first off, it would have been so much easier for Mercury Yaden to grab his cell phone and call me up anytime he wanted to ask me that question, he put me in, I felt in a position that was sort of unfair to have me, standing, called me to the ring, asked me, to help him with this situation, grunt style violence in action. They kind of have two names that they're kind of using. I'm not sure which it is, but they're really sort of, as your words were great, infiltrated Rocky Mountain Pro, and they're tagging and bagging guys up, very militaristic style, in which they're bounding them and taking people away. Most recently, Curtis Cole. This just last week on Charge, we see Curtis is kind of meandering through wherever he was dropped off, sort of MIA, and they're sort of doing these things. Did the same thing to other talent as well, kind of running roughshod on Rocky Mountain Pro. And they picked on Mercury Yaden and Curtis Cole, two of the biggest stars this company has or has had. He had asked me, that they had challenged tag dudes for Milestone 11, which Mercury Yaden accepted, not knowing the health status mentally or physically, emotionally of Curtis Cole.
Right.
And said that, they've got their first sergeant, who is really a military leader. He clearly is directing his soldiers. And Mercury said that they needed a leader to help counter their militaristic style. And he couldn't, I couldn't believe he actually did this, but he asked me to be that person. He asked me manage this match for them, the tag dudes, with all the history that has gone on between me and Curtis Cole, and in particular me and Mercury Yaden. So much history, as I mentioned, 8 years. We started out as friends. I mean, he's the one who brought me into Rocky Mountain Pro. He's the one that hired me as the commissioner. And I don't know if I got my point across, but when I walked out and go back, episode 26 of Charged, so long ago, we're closing on 250 now. I got booed the minute I walked out. I set rules to protect the safety of the talent, and I was booed. And then nowhere did he come into my aid and say, hey, this is the guy who's going to do good things for us. I have a chip on my shoulder. I take things a little personal, and it festered and it built up, and it became an issue between us, and our history is well known. So because of that history, I just didn't feel like it was the right thing for me to do. I didn't feel like I know that he has a problem. I know that he has an issue with these three men. And I know it's a serious, they get through Yaden and Cole. What's next? But it's not my problem. It's not, I don't want to get involved. And so there's just so much history between he and I in particular. I just felt that it was the wrong thing to do. So I said no.
Yeah.
Questioned my faithfulness to RMP, which who can question my faithfulness? You may not always agree with me. And I know that, Artie, you've had your issues with me over the years as the CEO and as the commissioner, and everybody has their opinions and they're right to their opinions. But just because I might have done something different than what somebody else might have done doesn't mean I didn't care about what was the positioning for Rocky Mountain Pro. Disagree with my tactics, but he kind of questioned my desire, my love of RMP, and he's wrong. I love Rocky Mountain Pro. There's no other place I will go. You look, it's the only place you'll find me, and so it just didn't feel like the right place, the right thing. He's going to have to figure it out himself.
Right. Yeah, totally understand. So, like you mentioned also, questioning your passion, which a lot of us also do have.
Yeah. You question the antics, question the way I would go about something. But I still did it because I felt it was the right. Oh my God, I'm gonna quote Stephanie McMahon. It was best for business. It really was.
Yeah.
This is what I thought was best for business. Did I want Ronan to be Rocky Mountain Pro champion when he faced Stephen Ashburn, then called Stephane Lacroix? No, because I knew who Ronan was. We are now in 2020 with Legion and how Ronan is.
Yeah.
Was I wrong? I think I was actually proven right. That's a dangerous man who can manipulate people to follow a snap of his fingers. You didn't like what I was doing, but I had a purpose for it. In some cases, as Ronan is an example, I proved myself to be, history's on my side.
Yeah. The old cliche, hear me now, believe me later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. All right. Well, so kind of going from there, from our last event there at Bierstadt, this upcoming weekend, we've got, before we get to Milestone, this is the last stop before Milestone, so we've got a huge weekend for Rocky Mountain Pro. We've got another charged taping, but then we also got a huge seminar, too. Would you like to let the listeners know a little bit about both those things, what we got going on?
Absolutely. These are the last two episodes that we are filming prior to Milestone. You'll see. So what you're going to see coming up in the next couple of weeks, the Sunday before Milestone, we will be partnering up with our friends over at the Johnny Death Drop channel, the Dudes in Belts. Mm-hmm. They're going to do a full watch along and review of Supercharged the Sunday prior to Milestone weekend, and then the two episodes that we're taping this Saturday will be played in succession, special time, 9 p.m. We will start episode 1 and then episode 2 at our normal time at 10 o'clock. So you're going to get 2 episodes of Rocky Mountain Pro Charged on Thursday leading into the big weekend, the Milestone weekend. So this is it. This is the final 2 episodes. We still have some things that are kind of outlying out there. What will happen going into Milestone? So I think this is probably going to be in the year of 2021. These might be 2 of the most important episodes of television to date in the year, because there's still questions that are still out there when it comes to Milestone.
Right. Yeah. And for this charged taping that we have coming up, do we have any matches specifically announced that we could talk about? Or I know we, of course, like we mentioned, going back, we do have grunt style looming, so we never know about them.
Well, I do have an answer to that in specific. Okay. I do know that the main event, and it's being broken right here on your show. The main event of episode 1 will be a singles match between Mercury Yaden and member of grunt style, Roman Rizal.
Oh, okay.
So that should be interesting.
Yeah, so we do. They are going to get mixed up. They're going to mix it up a little bit before Milestone. Then.
Yeah, and to what degree? Where is Curtis Cole going to be at ringside? Is Curtis Cole even going to be at Milestone? Have not really seen Curtis Cole other than this past week meandering through, trying to find his way home. What's he going to be like? Is he going to be at TV? Is he going to be at Milestone? I think that's a big unanswered question, and we'll have to wait till this weekend to find out.
Right. Yeah. So true. All right.
And there was that big seminar.
Yeah. Huge
seminar for talent involving Ring of Honor's own Brutal Bob Evans. Uncle Bob, a big friend of the promotion. Love Uncle Bob, having him here. But also D'Lo Brown will be back as well. So the 2 of them are going to be taking this on. D'Lo, obviously a huge player over at Impact Wrestling. He is talent relations. So it's a good opportunity to really, kind of hone your craft as a professional wrestler. I know all of our talent is super excited. Anytime that Bob is here, they're super excited. But with Bob and D'Lo Brown, that should be huge. Yeah. And there are lots of seminars to come for the remainder of 2021. We're, now that we've opened things back up and are able to have some normalcy again, one of the things that really made our school so successful was having those seminars and people seeing the value that you get by being a student at our school versus any other school. Yeah. So there's a lot of unnamed, because I'm not in a position, I'm not the school guy. That's Yaden.
Right.
But there's a lot of people going to be here in the remainder of the year. So lots of great seminars to come as well.
Yeah. And, speaking of value, if I could be so bold for this particular weekend for the seminar, having both D'Lo and Bob here, and you going back to what you said, the value you're going to get between these two, you're going to get great feedback about what you're doing inside the ring, outside the ring, and then also things to think about on your wrestling journey. Hence, if I could be so bold, if you want to make this part of your life, and how do you make it your wrestle life, which is what Bob's, what he is doing, what he is promoting right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bob brings such a different take on a seminar. It's not just how do you do this move or that move, and D'Lo's very similar. It's the psychology of professional wrestling. It's the lifestyle of professional wrestling, the things that you need to do in between matches and trainings and stuff. So Bob brings a great lifestyle to his trainings.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, like we both said, a lot of things to think outside of when you're not actively in the ring or at training, things to do, like you said, in between, and to kind of fulfill all that, to put all the pieces together to make it, if you want to go on this journey, to make it work for you.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, from there, we do have Milestone, like we've been mentioning, lurking Milestone Weekend, lurking in the future, a 2-day event. The first day one, is going to be the Colorado Cup, something that you invented, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So we got another one of those. What do we have going that we can tell the listeners that's going on the day one of Milestone Weekend? Of course, like I said, we got the Colorado Cup. How many entrants we have in this time around?
I believe that this will be the biggest Colorado Cup we have ever seen. I'm hearing some discussion of 30 or more people in the cup. Normally we run that at around 20.
Right. So it's gonna be huge, and of course, the winner gets a title opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big deal. The winner of the Colorado Cup. The thing that's great about the Colorado Cup is it really, I think, showcases everyone's opportunity to shine, and such great moments have come out of the Colorado Cup, even from the very first Colorado Cup, with the debut of Humphrey Jacobs I, who actually comes and wins that event. I think that set the tone for what the Colorado Cup is. It is a Royal Rumble sort of style battle royal. The winner gets a championship shot at the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship at Shocktober. So we will know, by the end of the Colorado Cup, we're going to know the main event of Shocktober, the winner of the Cup versus whoever the existing champion is. So obviously there's still questions involved there, but that's all we know at this point on the Colorado Cup, is the actual battle royal. That is the feature of the evening. It used to be part of Milestone, but now Rocky Mountain Pro, we've kind of taken it and making a whole weekend of Milestone, the Colorado Cup being that night before. Totally free event on Twitch. You obviously have to buy tickets and to be live, but it's not, with our TV tapings, you must be a subscriber to watch those TV tapings. That's in advance of their release, so you kind of get to see them before everybody else does. That's kind of the advantage of being a subscriber. Right. This will be totally free. It's on the front page of Twitch, hopefully, if long as Twitch does what they're supposed to. It doesn't always. But the front page of Twitch, a totally free event. So if you're not a subscriber to Rocky Mountain Pro, this is a chance to see it. Obviously, the next day is Milestone. You will have to be a subscriber. It will be a 3-hour pre-show. Stupid. Not sure who. I know the answer was me. I don't know who asked for a 3-hour pre-show to produce, but I will figure that out. But we'll have 3 hours to totally free as well on the front page, and then of course Milestone will start, and it will be a subscriber only. But a huge weekend. So it's a big week altogether, from the Supercharged on Sunday to double episode of Charged, the Colorado Cup on Friday, and then of course the big event on Saturday. It's a big full 7-day week worth of Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah, definitely. So true. Just kind of hitting back a little bit. So Colorado Cup, we definitely know we got that match. We'll probably have a couple other matches sprinkled in for that show.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine that the Colorado Cup will probably take up. It's a 2-hour show, so I'm assuming the second hour will be all about that. So I'm sure we'll get a few matches here and there.
Yeah. And then the only thing we know for sure is for Milestone is we do have the Vulture versus Bruce Wayans for the championship.
So what we do know for Milestone, obviously, yes. What do I want to spoil Supercharged? I guess is my big question. So Bruce Wayans is taking on Dustin Urich from Supercharged. Damon Ace is taking on Ronan, who won a Charge Championship opportunity way back in January on the pre-show of Aces Wild. Who knew that he would hold on to that for 5 months? But he has exercised that contract and will have his shot at the Charge Championship, and Damon Ace at Milestone as well. And a challenge that came from Supercharged. And again, you'll be able to see this whole thing over at the Dudes and Belts channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/Johnny Deathdrop. Partner of us. They do a great show every Thursday called Recharge, where I'm actually on that as well, where we review what we just watched for Charged. So you'll be able to watch that whole thing. So me just telling you doesn't, you still going to want to see it. But Rochelle Riveter, I guess, has had her fill of the returning Unholy Trinity and has challenged her. And apparently there was a smile on Trinity's face. Unholy Trinity accepted that. That will be our Lockettes Championship. Still some things out there, though.
Yeah.
Of course, as we mentioned, Grunt Style versus the Tag Dudes. That's still out there. I kind of got a gut feeling that we're going to see Atiba and Corrente based upon everything that's kind of gone on with these two over the past couple of months. What a better place to settle the score than Milestone. But I don't know that for a fact. So, yeah, we know a couple of things about Milestone.
Yeah, and there's a lot of going on, and listeners should, just watch all the episodes when they come out on the Twitch feed and everywhere else that they do pop up from week to week, the weekly episodes that come out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping on, you always kept up to date through our Twitch and all of our social medias for sure.
Definitely. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm excited for the next, for this weekend, in a couple weeks for Milestone Weekend. I hope you are too, Titus.
I'll be beyond excited. Beyond excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the best job now. I mean, I really, really do.
Yeah.
I get to sit with no responsibility of any kind. I get to sit, watch this great roster of talent and seeing what they're doing. Sometimes I think, there might be a spot for me to come out of retirement. A guy like Balaam Lynx kind of makes me get that fire of going, man, if I could manage talent, that guy would be someone to manage. I was intrigued by the offer by Mercury Yaden because of the Grunt Style situation. But the Wake, I would love. You're going to find this to be a little odd because you've known me a long time. I look at the Wake and I see an opportunity to stop them. Oh, you see, you were expecting me to join them. I see an opportunity to stop them because honestly, if I'm going to be, a straight shooter, I'm not that impressed. I've managed the 4-Point Cartel and the establishment. I know a thing or two about factions. I would love to put together, I'd love to go back 5 years, put together, reassemble the 4-Point Cartel. That would be an interesting battle between the Wake and the Cartel.
That's what I was almost going to ask you to maybe draw a parallel because you know what it takes to assemble a faction like that. So you know what weaknesses are there and how to defend them when you're running that faction. But when you're on the opposite side, you know what weaknesses to exploit.
And if I'm going to be really honest, I mean, I'm a big fan of Dustin Urich. I have always been a fan of Dustin Urich.
Yeah.
He is the longest reigning Rocky Mountain Pro champion. He's in the argument and the conversation as the best Rocky Mountain Pro champion ever. I'm going to say he could be that even without all of the Wake garbage that he has put together and the way he's protected is he could have done that. Maybe he wouldn't be the longest reigning. Maybe he'd still be Danger Dean, but he would put himself in that conversation without all of this. I don't think he needs it. I don't think Damon Ace. I certainly don't think that the two-faced J.K. Pop needed to join the wake. So part of me goes, maybe I could come out of retirement, put together a team, but I have the best job. I get to sit, call the action, and let all the talent handle the things that they're going to handle and not have to get my hands dirty. Right. Not a bad gig.
Yeah, and you get to paint that picture for the listeners and the viewers on Twitch.
I get to be the super fan.
So true, so awesome. All right, well, Titus, I hope the listeners are excited about next coming events for Rocky Mountain Pro. Thank you, of course, for coming on again to RMP Radio. Before I let you go, remind the listeners everything you've got going on out there on the social media, if they want to keep up with you, follow you, and all that fun stuff like that.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. You always are going to be the best place to really interact with me, social media wise, is Twitter at Evil Genius Titus. Anything you want to find me on social media, everything is Evil Genius Titus. That's just whatever social media you want to go to, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But my main focus, obviously, my Twitch account, twitch.tv/Evil Genius Titus. I stream every Tuesday and Friday, 1 o'clock, immediately following the Rocky Mountain Rewind. Been a great couple of streams. We're up to over 80 subscribers, lots of involvement from the RMP faithful. They're amazing. They blow me away every single time I stream. But I'm also working on doing things over on TikTok as well. I'm putting a couple of videos together every week. We have over on my Twitch channel what we call the question of the day. So, when the last stream I had, the question of the day was your favorite wrestling theme songs. Oh. And then chat gets involved, and we start spitballing all these different ones, and people forget about one. This is the conversation we had the other day. They kind of forget, oh my God, I didn't even think of that guy or this one or that one. And I take these discussions and I turn them into TikTok videos with my favorite. So every Tuesday and every Friday, before I stream, those launch over on my TikTok. Again, Evil Genius Titus. And then, of course, I'm doing some original gameplay episodes on my YouTube channel as well. And that, of course, is Evil Genius Titus. So those are the three main ones for me at this point: TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube.
Awesome. All right. Well, once again, thank you for joining me here again on RMP Radio, and I guess I'll be seeing you this weekend.
I will be there with bells on.
Once again, a big, huge thank you to Titus Machiavelli for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and talking about all the fantastic events that Rocky Mountain Pro has coming up this upcoming weekend, along with the Charge TV tapings, the seminar with D'Lo Brown and Bob Evans, and then on the future, on the horizon, the milestone 2-day weekend event. Everything should be so exciting, and I want to see each and every one of you out there attend these events. Now, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like they used to say back in the day. Want to get some merchandise of your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars? Head over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the merchandise link. You'll get all kinds of choices to choose from there. Hats, shirts, pop sockets, you name it. A lot of things are up there. Additionally, if you're in attendance to one of these live events, hit up the merch table. There may be special items only available live and in person that you can get from your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars. But if you're not there, send a message over to them via their social media. Maybe check to see what they've got, and they can maybe get with you, see about getting those shipped to you, and they would definitely encourage and welcome your support. Now, let's remind you once again, if you want to go to these events, head over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the events link. You'll have all the information for each and every one of these events, what day it is, time, where it's at, and then, of course, most importantly, how to get tickets. In the meantime, between all the shows that we do have going on, subscribe to twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you do get a Twitch membership subscription with your Prime membership. If you already have yours tied up or you are not a Prime member, it's like a nominal fee, like $5.99 a month. So it's well worth to support us here at Rocky Mountain Pro. Additionally, after these tapings get broken down into individual episodes, hit up the youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro and or the Fight TV platform, whether it's the website, your app on your mobile devices, or on the Roku device. Now, I want you to follow us out there on the interwebs Everything does stem from the website rmpwrestling.com. And then on the social medias of the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, want 2 accounts for you to follow. First one is The Rocky MTN Pro. Phonetically, once again, spell that for you. That's The Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. And then, of course, also follow us on RMP on Twitch. Very important reasons to follow both of these so you'll get your full Rocky Mountain Pro experience. Now, I want to thank you for listening to this edition of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.